Chapter 1. The OKC Days. Let's go back in time. June 25th, 2009. The 2009 NBA Draft. Blake Griffin goes first to the Clippers. The Grizzlies take Hasheem Thabeet second. Yeah. But third, still left there to be picked, James Harden, to the Oklahoma City Thunder. A franchise that already has two young superstars with KD and Westbrook. Really good drafting though, Memphis. Wasn't going to let it slide that easy. Anyways, Harden's first couple seasons aren't that notable. He comes off the bench a lot. He does end up making the all-rookie second team. His team, DeJuan Blair, Johnny Flynn, James Harden, Jonas Jerebko, Marcus Thornton. Just four randoms and Jonas Jerebko. But yeah, nothing really too notable happens in his first two seasons. So let's skip to his third season, the 2011-2012 NBA season. Now, the best six man in the NBA, an NBA that has Manu Ginobili coming off the bench. Harden this season, 16.8 points per game, 4.1 rebounds, 3.7 assists, which includes a 40-point game. The first reserve to score 40 since Rodrigue Beaubois in 2010. I said that correctly, right? Beaubois? But yeah, the Thunder were 47-19, the second seed in the West, and they were led by the biggest what-if big three ever. And their most important player, Big Perk. Perk was a dog though, no disrespect. But Harden, he actually did win Sixth Man of the Year this season. Look at how stacked the sixth man voting is though. When Jamal Crawford is coming in at 11th, that's when you know. By the way, I don't know if you guys saw Jamal Crawford's tweet that went kind of viral the other day. Phenomenal post, and this is not edited. But the Sixth Man of the Year race, Lou Will, Jason Terry, Taj Gibson, Ginobili, six man Kyle Korver, kind of feels wrong. Stacked list though. But for the Thunder, this is where they're just getting started. Because playoff time, first round, they sweep Dallas 4-0. Second round, they beat the Lakers 4-1. Conference finals, they beat the Spurs 4-2. And now, they're in the finals to play Wade, James, Bosh, and the Heat. But as we know, they lose the series 4-1. And now, Harden's a free agent. And he wants a bag, rightfully so. A 22-year-old that just won Sixth Man of the Year and went to the finals, he deserves a bag. But the Thunder, they're not willing to give the bag. The Thunder offer a 4-year, $52 million extension, but that wasn't big enough. And that, of course, brings us to Chapter 2, the first trade. So it's October 2012. This dude, Felix Baumgartner, he just skydives from space, and it goes insanely viral. Kendrick Lamar just drops Good Kid, Mad City, and in OKC, there's 8 teams constantly trying to call to work out a trade for James Harden. The Hornets, the Celtics, Warriors, Jazz, Wizards, Suns, Raptors, and the Houston Rockets. And of course, as we know, the Thunder ship James Harden right there. Rockets get James Harden, Daquan Cook, Cole Aldrich, Lazar Hayward, while the Thunder get Kevin Martin and Jeremy Lamb. That's half-court game winner Jeremy Lamb, by the way. But the Thunder also get picks that turn into Steven Adams, Mitch McGary, and Alex Abrinas. So yeah, that's the package the Thunder settle on for one of the best players ever. And Houston, of course, they signed him to a massive 5-year, $80 million extension. So yeah, James Harden, officially a Houston Rocket. Chapter 3, the early Houston days. Right away, this guy goes nuclear in Houston. First game, 37 points, career high 12 assists. First player ever with 37 points and 10 assists in a team debut. Second game, 45 points, most ever in first 2 games with a new team. Literally past Wilt's record of 79. And of course, he'd make his first All-Star team in his first year with Houston, and right away becomes one of the best scorers in the NBA. His first season there, 600 free throws, 150 threes. The only players ever to do this are Gilbert Arenas, Kobe, and Jerry Stackhouse. If there was a competition for most James Harden players that aren't James Harden, it's these 3 guys, but in a great way. But yeah, Harden actually makes the All-NBA team in his first year, and they actually end up losing to his old team in the first round. But the next season, Harden only turned up even more. All-NBA first team this time, but honestly, his first 2 seasons in Houston don't really have anything notable, so let's skip to his 3rd season with the Rockets, because that's where this guy starts to go wild. So we're in the 2014-2015 season. Rockets, they go 56-26. They win their first division title since '94, when they won the championship with Hakeem Olajuwon. While Harden, he got buckets this year. There was a point where he scored 40 points 3 times in 6 games. He was also the first Rocket ever with 2 50-point games in one season. But during the season, he averaged 27.4 points per game, 5.7 rebounds, and 7 assists on the dot. And because his stats were so good, and the Rockets were so good too, he was looked at as one of the best players in the NBA. And because of that, he came in 2nd in MVP voting, just behind Steph Curry. But he did win the NBA MVP, if that means anything to you. I know a bunch of you are huge National Basketball Player Association fans, but the Rockets would actually end up making the Western Conference Finals this year with Dwight and them, but they kind of got their ass beat by the Warriors 4-1. So that brings us to the 2015-2016 season. And the Rockets, they collapse from what they were last year. They go 41-41, so literally the definition of mid. But that doesn't mean Harden had a bad year. If anything, he had a better year. Look at this. This season, he joined Jordan, LeBron, and Oscar Robertson as the only players with 29 points, 7 assists, and 6 rebounds. That's before Westbrook and Jokic were born. But yeah, James Harden, another season where he goes insane. But the Rockets, they just aren't really good. Their starters this year, 82 games of Harden, 81 games of Ariza, 71 games of Dwight, 63 games of Pat Bev, 35 games of Clint Capella, 22 games of Dantes Montejunas. I literally forgot Dantes Montejunas existed till literally right this second. And also, why the hell are they starting Dwight Howard and Clint Capella together? What's the possible idea there? Anyways, next season. Because actually, the Rockets instantly turned it around, 55-27 in the 2016-2017 season. And Mike D'Antoni officially moves Harden to full-time point guard for the first time in his career. And it works. First game of the season, 34 points, 17 assists, 8 rebounds. Only 2 players ever with 30 points, 15 assists in the opener. Also, on New Year's Eve versus the Knicks, the dude dropped 53 points, 17 assists, and 16 rebounds. The first ever 50-15-15 game. He also led the league in assists per game, 11.2. That was along with 29.1 points per game. But because Russell Westbrook decided to turn into an actual TJS this season, James Harden comes in 2nd in MVP voting. Again, the dude can't win MVP. But Harden's a new player at this point. One of the best passers in the ever, actually. But the Rockets end up running into the Spurs in the 2nd round. But if you got Tim Duncan in the playoffs, just go home and turn on Netflix at that point. Crack a beer. No point in playing. So yeah, the first couple years of Harden's Rockets tenure, he gets really close. He almost wins an MVP, but he never completes either. By the way, I just wanted to say, if you don't want me to make a files video on you, all you got to do is sub. Otherwise, you're getting a video, buddy. Thanks. But for real, if you guys do want to subscribe, I would genuinely appreciate it. It's the only thing that truly tells me you guys want me to go all in on this channel. Thank you. Anyways, Chapter 4, 2018 and 2019. The reason I did these 2 seasons as their own chapters, well, they're his best seasons by a good amount. 2017-2018 season. Let's look at it. Early in the season, 56 points versus Utah. Joined Will as the only players with 50 points, 10 assists, 75% shooting in a game. Then he scored 20 points in his first 20 games, the first time in Rockets history. He wins Player of the Month in October and November. The 20-point streak goes to 24 games, the first player ever since 1991. Then he goes for back-to-back 51-point games, the first Rocket ever with consecutive 50-point games. Then, his best game. January 30th versus Orlando, 60 points, 10 rebounds, 11 assists. The NBA's first ever 60-point triple-double. And he broke the Rockets' scoring record that game. The Rockets were insane this season. They finished 65-17, the 1 seed in the West. Harden averages 30.4 points per game. He leads the NBA in scoring. He also averages 8.8 assists. And finally, for the first time in his career, the guy wins an MVP. And he kind of goes off in the playoffs. Round 1, he has a 44-point game versus the Wolves. Round 2, 41 versus Utah. Round 3, 41 points in Game 1 versus the Warriors. And honestly, we all know the Rockets should have went to the finals, but they decided to miss 27 straight threes in Game 7. So yeah, Rockets lose in the Western Conference Finals to the Warriors for the 900th time. Harden, he wins his first MVP, but the thing is, in my opinion, the next season is the best season of his career. The 2018-2019 season. Because the start of this season, the Rockets were actually kinda ass. They started 11-14, but then, with Chris Paul hurt, they go on a 10-1 run. By the way, I cannot believe this is how I found out Chris Paul retired.
Hey, nothing you can leave without saying goodbye.
I used to say I lived my life a quarter mile at a time. And I think that's why we were brothers. Because you did too.
Criminal way to find out. Anyways, later in that season, January 23rd versus the Knicks, the guy gets a career-high 61 points, along with 15 rebounds. He also gets 32 straight games with 30 points, the second longest streak ever. Although Wilt's record was 65, Harden had no chance. But Harden did score 30 points versus all 29 teams in one season, one of the only players ever to do it. He had 7 50-point games. He also got 61 versus the Spurs. He finished the season averaging 36.1 points per game. 36.1. Yeah. The most ever for anyone not named Wilt Chamberlain or Michael Jordan. He led the league in scoring by 8.1 points per game, the largest gap since Wilt. Everything for Harden is since Wilt. And again, for the 878th time in his career, James Harden, runner-up MVP, to Giannis this time. And of course, the Rockets lose to the Warriors in the second round. Harden's Rockets tenure is just a Twilight Zone episode of second place MVPs and losing to the Warriors every single season. But that brings us to Chapter 5, the late Houston days. So the late Houston days, they're great, don't get me wrong, but they aren't the 2 seasons we just looked at. Although the first season, 1920, might be equal. So this season, Harden actually opened the season kind of bad again. He opened the season shooting 28.6% field goal percentage, 15% from 3. But eventually he'd pick it up. He won Player of the Week, averaging 40.7 points, 9.3 assists, 8 rebounds. It's the worst TJ Warren week, but it's fine. But he also had 334 points in 9 games, the most since Jordan in '89, Jordan Farmar. Oh yeah, also, he won December Player of the Month, and he totaled 19,578 points for the 2010s. The NBA's leading scorer for the 2010s. The entire decade. Between 2018 and 2020, he had 20 games of 40 points, the first since Wilt. Again, he finished the season leading the league in points per game at 34.3. The Rockets would end up losing to the Lakers in the second round. And since they couldn't win a ring but were so close every year, the Rockets pulled Mike D'Antoni and Daryl Morey's plugs. Rest in peace, Mike D'Antoni and Daryl Morey. They fired them. And Harden gets pissed. He requests a trade, although he does start the season there. But he shows up in a fat suit, people think. And after 3 straight scoring titles, an assist title, the second best Rocket ever, a top 5 player of the 2010s, that's the end of his tenure of the best stop of his career. Chapter 6, the second trade. So Harden sees two of his buddies in New York balling out together. Well, Brooklyn, but KD and Kyrie. So January 14th, 2021, a 4-team trade. Houston got Victor Oladipo, Dante Exum, Ronnis Karukis, and enough draft picks to draft a current 4th grader's eventual great-grandson. But the Nets get Harden, Pacers get LeVert, Cavs get Jared Allen and Taurean Prince. So yeah, the Ronnis Karukis trade, complete. Chapter 7, the Nets days. The Nets days, man. This feels fake. Harden, Kyrie, KD. KD likes Harden, but doesn't really like Kyrie apparently. But the Harden Nets tenure started off great. 32 points, 12 rebounds, 14 assists. The first net ever with a triple-double in their debut. The first ever 30-point triple-double in an NBA debut. And that's the extent of his Nets career. Nah, he did have some massive game for the Nets. 11 straight double-doubles, most ever by a Net. He made the All-Star team, the first Net since 2007 to win Player of the Month, the first player ever to win Player of the Month in their first 2 full months with a new team. And in March, the Nets actually went wild. 11-2, the first seed in the East. Until Harden pulls his hammy, misses 18 games, but he does return in the playoffs. And the Nets get to the second round versus the Bucks, and in Game 7, Harden gets 22 points, 9 rebounds, 9 assists, and the Nets lose in overtime. And that's it for Harden's first season with the Nets. Low-key, if the Nets win that though, they're winning the championship. They got the Hawks in the Eastern Conference Finals, and the Suns in the Finals. Harden and KD's career could have been so different. But they lost, and now, the 21-22 season. Just a bunch of big games from Harden. He makes the All-Star team again. Except the big three, Harden, KD, Kyrie, they don't play basketball. Together at least. They play a total of 16 games together in their entire tenure. So then, 13 months after requesting a trade from the Rockets, Harden requested a trade from the Nets. But not publicly this time. Look at this. James Harden wants to trade to the Philadelphia 76ers, won't formally request a deal due to concern over public backlash, sources say. So he requests a trade, but doesn't. I don't know. But that brings us to Chapter 8, the third trade. February 10th, 2022. Player sent to Philadelphia. James Harden, Paul Millsap. Player sent to Brooklyn. Ben Simmons, Seth Curry, Andre Drummond. So Harden was traded for Simmons and Curry. But yeah, now James Harden, a Philadelphia 76er, along with Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey. Chapter 9, the Philly days. So the Nets' tenure lasted 80 games. The 76ers' tenure, take a guess what it lasts. Because if you said 79, you win. And the thing was, it started off crazy. Like usual, every time he goes somewhere new, it starts great. First game, 27 points, 12 assists, 8 rebounds. Second game, 29 points, 10 rebounds, 16 assists. The first player ever with 25 points and 10 assists in their first 2 games with the new team. But the season as a whole doesn't really have anything notable. The Sixers do go to the second round, but lose to Miami, who we all know has some witchcraft these years. But that was it. So next season, 22-23 season. Harden and Embiid were going crazy. Harden and Embiid became the first teammates ever with 40 plus points and 20 plus assists multiple times in the same season. Harden was the league leader in assists, 10.7 per game. Embiid led the league in scoring. They became the first duo ever to lead the NBA in points per game and assists per game. And they'd actually sweep the Nets in the first round, although they lose to Boston in 7 in the second round. And then Harden gets pissed at Daryl Morey over some contract stuff and goes on to tell a bunch of children in China that Morey's a liar and he won't play for the Sixers.
Daryl Morey is a liar, and I will never be a part of an organization that he's a part of. Let me say that again. Daryl Morey is a liar, and I will never be a part of an organization that he's a part of.
Top 5 trade request of all time. So yeah, that brings us to Chapter 10, the fourth trade. November 1st, 2023. Clippers get James Harden, PJ Tucker, Philip Pestrevov. 76ers get Marcus Morris Sr., Nicholas Batum, Robert Covington, and a bunch of other bullshit. But Harden now with the Clippers on kind of a stacked team. Look at this roster. PG, Harden, Kawhi, Zubac, Russ, the Plum Dog Millionaire, Norman Powell, unpictured. But we kind of got something brewing here. Chapter 11, the Clippers days. The Clippers days are probably his best since the Rocket days realistically. The first season there, he hits the 25k point mark. Him and Westbrook become the third pair of teammates ever with 25,000 points. He also joined the company of 25,000 points, 7,000 assists, 6,000 rebounds. The people he joined: LeBron, Oscar, Westbrook. I love how his website just says Oscar. Maybe it's the damn Grouch, I don't know. But the Clippers would end up losing to the Mavs in round 1, which brings us to the next season, or last season actually. Harden, early in the season, passes Will for all-time triple-doubles, 8th all-time now. 10th all-time being Sabonis is crazy though. Shout out to him though, I guess. But also Harden this season becomes 2nd all-time in threes made. Then he gets his 100th career 40-point game, joins Wilt, MJ, and Kobe. He makes another all-star team, but the Clippers lose again in the first round, this time to the Nuggets. So that brings us to this season. Harden was balling out this season. He's like 75 years old. The guy had a 55-point game, the Clippers' record. He joined Kobe, Curry, and LeBron as the only players with 55 points at 36 years or older. He also moved into the top 10 of all-time scoring, 9th at this point. Also passed Andre Miller to move to 12th all-time in assist. So yeah, Harden was balling out. But, of course, we got to go to Chapter 12, the 5th trade. February 4th, 2026. Pretty much out of nowhere. Cavs get James Harden. Clippers get Darius Garland. Cavs want to win it all. Clippers want to get younger. So the Cavs got Harden, Mitchell, Allen, and Mobley. Low-key pretty stacked. Chapter 13, the Cavs days. This guy's been a Cav for about 2 weeks now, but so far he's been great. His first game, 23 points, 8 assists, 15 points in the fourth quarter. Cavs win by 3. He's only been a Cav for 3 games at this point, but so far 3-0, so he's on pace to never lose as a Cav. And yeah, that's Harden's career file so far. But that brings us to Chapter 14, all-time shooting guard ranks. So while making this, I was kind of curious where people put James Harden in the all-time shooting guard ranks. So I looked up a few lists. Bleacher Report, here's their 10. 10, T-Mac. 9, Gervin. 8, Ray Allen. 7, Reggie Miller. 6, Manu Ginobili. 5, Clyde Drexler. 4, Harden. 3, Wade. 2, Kobe. 1, MJ. Seems solid, except for the fact that Allen Iverson is completely missing. Hoops Hype though, who included AI, had AI 4th, Harden 5th. This list, literally from basketball.com, had Harden 7th, AI 6th, Jerry West 5th, forgot Jerry West, 4th D Wade, 3rd Pete Maravich. Damn, these lists are all over the place. So here's my professional, official, all-time shooting guard ranks. 1, MJ. 2, Kobe. 3, Wade. And 4 is impossible between Harden, AI, and Jerry West. But we're going to put James Harden, the 4th best shooting guard ever. One of the best passers ever. The best scorer of my lifetime. In my opinion, one of the most underrated players of all time. If he wins a chip with the Cavs this year, I think a lot of people will look at his career a lot differently. Then he'll only be trailing Terrence Ross in the all-time shooting guard ranks. But if you guys enjoyed this, I would genuinely appreciate if you could subscribe. It's truly the only thing that tells me you guys want me to go all in on this channel. Thank you guys for watching.